Gardens in town. Those of you who are from Sheffield know exactly where town is. Those of you who aren't from Sheffield, it's our city centre. So I was walking through the Peace Gardens and everybody was getting about the business as they do. No, like walking through, taking no notice, because we're British, we don't have contact. And I heard a commotion behind me. You're absolutely useless. What was the point in that? Have you seen the state of you? You are worthless. You are not good enough. My flabber was gasted. I turned around and I couldn't believe it. I expected to see a couple having a real good old barney. But they weren't. It was one woman on her own. And I see things, not in a Haley Joel Osment kind of way, but I do sort of see how people communicate with themselves. And there she was. That was her internal dialogue. That was how she was speaking to herself. That was her inner voice. She was telling herself she wasn't good enough. And she believed that. That was her truth. So I looked at her and I said, how does it get better than this? Now my name's Elaine Mitchell and I'm an empowerment coach. And what I do is I help people to get better than this. I help them to get rid of that inner voice. Because how many of you guys can actually relate to that? You feel that you're not good enough. You've had a bad experience, so you'll never try anything new again, just in case it happens. You've got worries, you've got stressors. We've all got lives. And you've got that inner voice. Can anybody relate to that? We all listen to that voice. We listen to that voice that speaks to us how we would not speak to anybody else. Why do we do it? I don't know, but we do, and we always have done as we've grown up. That is how we've developed. I help people to get into a space, like Bilal said, of authenticity, to get into your true space so you can do exactly what you're meant to do, regardless of what that is, whether it is to set up a fantastic taxi company, or whether it is to write and publish a book, or whether it is just to be the best version of yourself, which isn't a just to be, by the way, because that's all you can possibly be. And how do I do that? Well, I think it's really, really important that you understand that it's not all about mindset. It's not all about what's going on up there. And I think especially in this digital age, when we're scrolling through Facebook and you see all the posts that say mindset is everything, I'm going to call BS on that because I don't think it is. I think, yes, it's important, and I will show you a tool with regards to that right at the end. It's very, very important. But if your mind is saying something, and this inside here is saying, actually, no, it's not because you're not good enough, which one's going to win? Which one is going to win? It's not going to be this. And you're going to end up poorly, or not being able to be the best version of yourself. So, I just want to show you an example because a lot of you will be thinking, yeah, that's all right for you to say, you're stood up there, you've got that going on in there and up there, and it's all working fine. However, I'm going to show you that we've all been there, we've all had a moment when we've been there, when we've been truly authentic, when we've stepped into our empowerment, and when we've stepped out of that comfort zone, which Andrew touched on. And Andrew said about we live in this place and just step out of it, just push yourself to do what you want to do. I don't call it a comfort zone, by the way, because yes, it's not a very nice comfort, is it? If you're walking through the Peace Gardens and you've got that internal dialogue, you've got that voice saying that you're rubbish, what's comfortable about that? There's not a great deal that is comfortable about that at all. What is more, so that is why I wouldn't call it a comfort zone, I'd call it a blah zone. Because you're living a life, you're living a life of blah. It's not interesting, it's not exciting, it's certainly not fulfilling, telling yourself that you're rubbish and you're not good enough. So I want to show you a little exercise, how you can actually get into that space, which is what Lee touched on as well. I was like, no, he's stealing what I'm doing. So, make sure your feet are flat on the ground. I'm not going to make stand up or anything like that, but make sure your feet are flat on the ground. The next bit, I want you to close your eyes as well. Now, there's a big clue in this. If you can still see me, you're cheating. So close your eyes and just be aware of your breath. And then what I want you to do is I want you to think of a first. I want you to think of a first occasion in your life that you knew was going to be life-changing, but in a good way. So it could be The first time you go out on a date, it could be your first kiss, it could be the first time you get into a car to drive, it could be anything like that. So when you've locked into that moment, that first that you know is not going to change you, it's going to change your life for the better. I want you to make a fist, and I want you to take your fist and put it where you feel that energy in your body. And everybody will have a different place where they feel that energy. And just be aware of where you took it. And you can smile if you like, this is a good moment that you're in. And then what you can do is just put your hand down and open your eyes. So you've all realised that your mind, your body and soul all works in synergy. You were then, at that moment, in your empowerment zone. You'd stepped into it at that time in your life. You knew what you did was going to be a good thing. You knew you were going to step forward and things would change. It's much better than not being good enough. It's much better than not being good enough. Do you agree on that? We can all get into that space. We can all find that by being our true, authentic self. I work with a system called the Power of Three. I've not got time to go into 3 things, but I did promise a gift to everybody before I left this evening. I'm going to give you 2. The first one is actually a mindset tool. So I know I said mindset is BS, but it's not. It's only BS long term. But this works very quickly, and I guarantee if you use this tool, this technique, for the next week, your life will change. No doubt about it. Your life will change for the better. Because what happens is when we're in that blah zone, as heads are down, our emotions are down, and we're looking for the bad things. Have you ever had a day when you think, how can it get any better than this? What's next? That's what we say, isn't it? Oh, bad luck comes in 3, so we look for the 3rd thing. And there we go, we do that. What you need to do is, follow me guys, is raise your dominant hand in the air. Pivot your elbow back so your hand is now touching the back of your head, and then just slide your head from left to right or right to left. Just once. And what you guys have just done, you can put your hands down now. Don't want you looking silly on that. What you've just done is you have switched on your peripheral vision. Massive, massive thing, your peripheral vision. You've switched it on, and that opens up opportunities. It opens up the idea that things can get better. The magic words that you need are, how does it get better than this? How does it get better than this? You ask that question rather than, ooh, what's next? You ask, how does it get better than this? And you will look for opportunities. You will find the opportunities, and you will see the difference. Can you see how that'll work? It's just so empowering. It absolutely works. So that's my gift to you, those few words. You don't have to walk about going, oh, I've switched it on. That is a bit of a mind connection there. You've switched it on. It is just a case of using those words, either out loud or internalising them. But you're then making your brain, your mind, your body and your soul work together. Because your unconscious mind, this bit down here, is thinking, whoa, we've never had this before, we've never had options to look for good or opportunities. And it all starts to work together, and it steps you into your empowerment zone. So my name's Elaine Mitchell. I am an empowerment coach. There are some cards at the back, and I'd be more than happy to discuss it further with each of you individually. Thank you very much.
Elaine Mitchell.